Hi, Stars fans. Welcome to another episode of the Mighty Melbourne Stars podcast. I'm Heath MacDonald, aka Mighty Melbourne Stars, and I'm joined, as always, by.
Hey guys, Jacob here from Melbourne Stars News. Pleased to be back for another review. This time, the Derby, the Melbourne Renegades game, the heartbreaking loss that it was. We'll be taking you guys through what we thought from a batting and bowling perspective, and just going through the heartbreak that everyone felt on that night. So I'll hand back to you, Heath, to get us kicked off.
Yeah, definitely. So it was really disappointing to give that win to the Renegades. Like, as you said, that it was the hope that kills you because we started off pretty crap, but then they take wickets, and then we take wickets, and then both teams played like crap, but somehow the Renegades got the job done.
Yeah, it was an interesting game. It was very up and down. At one stage, it felt like we were just completely out of it. And then all of a sudden it was 50-50, or we were the favourites with a couple overs left. And then the last over heartbreak, which we'll talk on in a minute. But I want to quickly talk on the positives. I know there's not a heap of them, but I thought our power play was really good. I think our power plays have been good all year. You look at last season, we were losing a wicket or two in the first over, and we were making like 25 runs in the power play, or even less sometimes, which is just not good enough considering it's supposed to be an advantage, and you have the fielding restrictions. And this power play, we were 0 for 37, so we hadn't lost a wicket, and 37 runs. That's like nine and over, or just over nine. So you got to be pretty happy with that. So I thought the power play was really good. We're just getting off to good starts, but it feels like as soon as a little bit of pressure builds in overs 5 and 6, we just start to like try and play some stupid shots, and a wicket has fallen at that time in the last two games, which has been where we've lost. And then it's the middle overs that have just sucked. So what do you kind of make on that start of the game, Heath?
The power play is like really good, like you said, and also the just the way we like just letting the pressure build us into making terrible decisions with the bat, and it's contributing to our fumbles, and we are just deciding not to, like, can't be bothered. Like, I thought, like, it was just pretty good, but there's a lot of things we need to improve on too.
Yeah, there was, and it felt like It felt kind of the whole season, the middle overs are where we've really struggled. Some games that have been really easy, you kind of don't notice it or don't worry about it because we're only chasing a low total. But in a game where we're batting first, we need to set a high total no matter what. And those middle overs, we've really slowed down. We got off to a great start, and then that middle chunk, we lose wickets. Sometimes the power surge doesn't go well. It did the other night, but that's thanks to guys coming in at 7 and 8 and 9, in the bowlers really saving us. Tom Curran, 37 runs, credit to him with the bat. And then the game before was Blake McDonald. So we can't be relying on those guys coming in at 8, to be saving us and scoring 40 odd runs to keep us at a decent total. We have to rely on our middle order guys to step up a bit more. And usually they do. They've been good for so long, but it just worries you a little bit when Maxi hasn't hit form, and we're 6 games into the season. He had one good knock against the Thunder, and I understand he hasn't been required to do a lot this season, but in the games where we've been batting second and chasing. But at the same time, we need him to be switched on at come finals.
Yeah, no, definitely, of course, and that's it. If we make finals, because we need to bounce back pretty quickly. So obviously we were terrible. What were your thoughts on Marcus Stoiner's bowling himself in the last over, where he should have bowled Tom Curran?
Yeah, I wanted to speak on that because we've kind of discussed the batting and now the bowling. Look, I think Stoin shouldn't have taken that last over, but I want to speak on the start of the innings first, and we'll work our way to the end. We couldn't take a wicket at the start. Josh Brown dominated us. It's safe to say that. And who opened with? Oh, Tim Seifert. We got him out reasonably early, but it felt like they were one for whatever for an eternity. It was Mohammed Rizwan and Josh Brown. That partnership lasted like 10 plus overs. And it's something we've been good at for most of the season is taking key wickets early. And I've said that so many times because we're able to break through in the power play. And then all of a sudden there's a shit ton of pressure on the opposition, middle order batters to make some runs. And then they can't survive a whole 15 overs. So then before you know it, we've bowled them all out. And we were just not even close to that for the first half of the game. We could not take wickets. Their run rate was very high, which just allowed them to work through chase down our total quite easily, or what looked like it was going to be quite easily. And then, yeah, Peter Siddle and Harris Ralph and Mitch Swepson kind of turns it on in the last 2 overs. Yes, Ralph was very expensive, but he did take some key wickets. And then Siddle also, took 2 in the over and 3 in 2 overs, I believe. He was bowling phenomenal at that death part of the game. And Mitch Swepson, shout out to him. He was very underrated, I think, and underappreciated. He bowled 4 overs and he only went for 20 runs. So that's an economy of 5. So that's really impressive. And like I said, coming into the season, it's going to be so economic. So what did you make of those guys, Heath, and their performances?
I thought the bowling was a bit expensive at times. Harris Ralph was expensive. I just thought we didn't look up to it at the start of our bowling innings, but when we got wickets, we came alive and Storness was pumped, and the whole team was pumped, and we just gave ourselves a chance to win the game, and we didn't. And obviously,
Yeah,
that
it
Tom,
was the chance was right there, wasn't it?
yeah, the Tom Curran catch obviously costed us the win. If he had taken that, it would have put the pressure on the Renegades, and I doubt they would have won that. But we cannot we cannot dwell on this because we literally play the Sixers tomorrow, and we can't afford to lose another game because otherwise we risk ourselves of missing the 5 altogether.
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing the past 2 losses, and I think the disappointing part about it is they were both so winnable. You look at the Heat game, we should have won that. We were well ahead. They needed 70 runs in like the last 4 overs. We choked. So that's a game that hurts even more, just because we really should have won. And then the Renegades game, well, there was 68,000 people there, so that's obviously going to hurt the derby, the energy that brings, and the competitiveness. It's always going to hurt a little bit more. But at the same time, once again, we should have won that game. We had the chance. I think if we had just got blown out and straight up, the better team won, then I wouldn't have been as mad. But it's the fact that we had it right there and we just let it go. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like we 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 could we could have won that game, could have won both those games, but we didn't. We just let certain players dictate the game, and that's exactly what happened. Maxi Bryant for the Heat and Josh Brown for the Renegades. They both dictated the game, and we failed to get them
Yeah.
out early.
Yeah, and once again, it comes down to our bowling attack, who have been good for most of the season, but it's just taking those wickets, breaking those partnerships. It's simple. We keep repeating it, but it's what we did for the first 4 games, and it's why we won so easily. And it's why Harris Ralph and Peter Siddle and Tom Curran are up there in the top for the leading wicket takers. Because they've been able to bowl teams out, but the past 2 games we haven't been able to do that. And yeah, just quickly, we want to touch on that last over. So Tom Curran hadn't had a good night in the field. We know that he dropped a few catches. He was looking a bit dodgy. But what I said on my live the other day is fielding is different to bowling. When he's bowling, he's not dropping catches, It doesn't matter if he's had a terrible night in the field, he's going to be bowling. So I think Stoin should have given Curran the rock for the last over because it wasn't like he was bowling bad. He hadn't taken a wicket yet, but I mean, he's one of the best death bowlers in the world. It's kind of what we brought him in for. When you think of death bowlers, you think of Tom Curran, and we're paying him the big bucks to bowl those intense overs. And I think we 100% should have bowled him. And yeah, if he's bowling, then he's not out in the field in the hot spots dropping catches. So, I mean, I just think I understand Stoinis being the captain and being experienced. He wanted to take on the responsibility, and that's totally fine. He puts in a lot of effort, but it just didn't go very well at all. If we had our time back, I would have much rather have Tom Curran bowl that last over, and I'm sure you'd agree with that.
Do you reckon Stoinis was a bit selfish in bowling himself in the last over?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was very emotional that game. He was, you saw when the catches were dropped and when Tom Rogers was a bit lazy in that fielding attempt that the commentators spoke on Fox. I know it should have been a single or a dot ball, and Tom Rogers kind of walked to the ball, and they got two out of it, and Stein was furious, and you could see, what he was saying if you can lip read.
Yeah.
So, look, I think he was very emotional, and he probably, and we're not used to playing in front of crowds like that. Thankfully, the Big Bash is alive again, and we're getting big crowds, but it's been a while since we've played in a loud stadium like that where it really sounds like an AFL game. So I think the emotions were high, the adrenaline. He probably just thought, hey, I'm the captain. I've represented Australia in this situation. Give me the ball. But yeah, at the same time, Tom Curran's an international player, and I probably would have backed him with the ball a little bit more. So yeah, I think Stoin maybe, I wouldn't say it was selfish. I'd say it was him trying to help the team. He's the captain. I think he was
Yeah.
trying to do a good thing. It just failed. But I guess that wraps up the game.
Yeah.
Summarised it pretty well. Thank you to everyone who went to the game and showed their support. We broke a record last night. It was the third highest. Sorry, not last night. It was the third highest BBL crowd of all time, and the Melbourne Derby just keeps on giving. So hopefully on the 10th of January at Marvel Stadium, we're able to retain that mace and the bragging rights, and Melbourne will stay green no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. Did you want to do like let the fans know about an announcement for a sponsor? Because I noticed that on the podcast account.
Oh no, we won't. We won't talk about anything like that just yet because we're still
No.
confirming things.
Yeah. Okay.
All righty. All right, we'll wrap
So
it up, guys. Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Mighty Melbourne Stars podcast. Thanks, Heath, for joining once again.
yeah, no problem.
And we'll see you all in the next one, which will be the Sydney Sixers game preview coming up. Thank you
Yeah,
all, and go
definitely.
Stars.
Go Stars.
What you doing? You just wanna